Well, here we are. It was not that long ago. It was just last week that I gave my last update to you. You can see over my shoulder, back, a bit of a throwback to earlier in the pandemic. Again, I've got my counter going. Not any longer recording lockdowns. Ontario's not under a lockdown, although it kind of feels like a little bit. This one is a counter about my kids not being in school. Had an interesting talk Friday of last week with some colleagues and someone else, some other people, and one of the people had said that the reason she's worried right now is because the hospitals are so slammed that her father, who's ill, seriously ill, can't get medical care. And that's happening. We're going to hear more and more stories like that. I now know of two people, well, I guess three, really, who have medical issues that need medical treatment and they can't get it. They just cannot get it. And it's not like anyone disagrees that they need a procedure or a surgery or a knee replacement or something like that. It's specifically that, oh, yes, you are diagnosed. You need this treatment. We cannot give it to you because the hospitals are such a mess. And meanwhile, like I said, over my shoulder there, you see, this is the 1 week mark of my kids not being in school. They are scheduled, in theory, to go back to school 1 week from today. I genuinely have no idea if that's going to happen. And I don't mean that as a cop-out. Like, is this right now my trying to interpret what the Ontario government is going to do next? That's all I've got for you folks. Like, I really have no idea. The Ontario government, Doug Ford has always had a bad habit of flip-flops. His flip-flops are getting a lot faster these days. So whatever position he has on any given day usually survives until the next day. 48 hours later, though, is a bit of a stretch. So 2 weeks ago, Ontario, woo, we're opening the schools. All right. No, we're not going to open the schools. We're going to delay it by 2 days. Actually, we're going to delay it by 2 weeks. They held all of those positions within a handful of days. So ask me what they're going to do next. And like I said, I give you the theatrical shrug. I mentioned before the woman who mentioned that her father was sick, and he's sick. This is not a minor thing. This guy needs health care. The problem is going to be the hospitals are going to be a disaster. They're going to saturate. They're getting there anyway. Partially, this is because Omicron is a really aggressively spreading virus. Part of it, as we discussed last week, is the fact that our healthcare system sucks. The concern I have, though, is that counter is going up, not because it's helping the hospitals, not because we're actually making things any better on that front, but because we don't know what else to do. The politicians in this country seem to have decided that you ain't serious until you've closed the schools. I'm worried again, particularly in Ontario, where Premier Flip-Flop is going to be running for election in about 6 months. He's got a disaster heading towards him in his healthcare system, so he's shut the schools. Why? Again, I think it's because he thinks it's only serious when you've closed the schools. What I said to the woman who told me last week that her father is very ill was obviously that I'm terribly sorry to hear that, and I hope he does well. But I also said, how long do we have to keep all the kids, 2 million of them in Ontario, home from school in order to save your dad's life? No one has an answer for that because I do not think our actions are now currently directly linked to any particular goal. I think in Ontario, at least, we are going through the motions because we don't really know what else to do. If I had any faith that the people in power had closed the schools and got that counter going up because they were trying to achieve something specific, maybe I'd feel better about this. But I have no faith whatsoever that they have the slightest idea what they're doing. I think they are doing all that they can to look like they're doing something. Meanwhile, those people waiting for health care, that wait list is only getting longer.